Welcome back, guys. I got another Spooktober deck for you here today. And of course, I'm still running my contests. Those are going to run till the end of the month. All you have to do to enter, literally, leave a comment. Tell us that we were good, tell us that we were bad, doesn't matter. If you make us laugh, maybe that'll go better. By us, I'm going to probably run this by my team. We will pick people at the end of every week. And all we're going to do to notify you, we're going to go over to your profile. Along the top, there's obviously a little discussion tab. We'll message you, give you some contact information. You message me back via email. We'll get your actual sender information, and then we're going to send you out some cards during the end of the week. I've still got a stack of cards sitting on the shelf. Again, I bought a lot of the Battle of Legends Armageddon, Battle of Legends Relentless Revenge. I still have some stuff from something of the Duelist, one of the more recent sets. And I'll probably even throw the super polys that are in this deck into that stack because there's a couple secrets in there. But back to it, let's get you a deck profile. And today we're going to do a Zombie World Control. This is a nice budget deck. You're probably going to do very well in any locals. Definitely going to do well with your casual friends. So let's get you a deck list, all right? First card we're going to run a single Armageddon Knight. We're going to have 3 Ash Blossoms. We're going to run 2 copies of the Doom King Ballardrock. We're going to run 3 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. We're going to run 2 copies of the Glow Up Bloom, 3 copies of Gozuki, 2 copies Jacko Balan, 3 copies of Mizuki. We're going to run 2 Necro World Banshees. We're going to run 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire, and 3 copies of Unizombie will round out our monsters this time round. For our spells, we're going to have the single copy of Called by the Grave, the single Foolish Burial, the 3 Super Polymerizations, and again, like I said, 2 of these are secrets. One of these is the original Phantom of Darkness. Maybe we'll throw that one in the pile too, but these are going to be up for grabs. The 3 zombie worlds that we're going to need, and then we're actually going to run some traps. So we're going to run Rivalry of Warlords and a pair of Solemn Strikes. Now, in the extra deck, we've got a nice little 15 card here for you. We're going to be using a handful of fusion monsters. We're going to have the Earth Golem Ignister. We're going to have the Mud Dragon of the Swamp, 2 copies of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and World Chalice Guard Dragon Almerduk. I know a lot of you are going to get me right here and be like, well, where's Necro Dragon? Yep, sorry guys, don't own it. 2 Synchros, we're going to run 2 copies Red Eye Zombie Necro. And then straight to links, we're going to have the 1 copy Avendred Savior, 1 copy Borreload Dragon, 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Link Karibo, and 2 copies of Vampire Sucker. So if you guys were here just for our deck list, you guys are free to go. Please leave one of those comments. Just get yourself entered. I mean, what's the worst that happens? You get some free cards? Now, let's go ahead and talk about some actual strategy to this. So, first off, the Armageddon Knight is going to, when summoned, send a dark monster from the deck to the graveyard, and this is going to start some, actually a lot of our plays. Ash Blossoms here for her usual goodness. Doom King Ballardrock looks like a good paragraph here, but he's worth the read. So during the standby phase, if a face-up card is in a field zone, and this is in the graveyard, you special summon this to defense mode for free. Notice it does not say your standby phase, it's just a standby phase. Okay, moving on. You can only use this effect of Ballardrock once per turn, and that is once per chain when a zombie monster except Ballardrock activates its effect. Quick effect, apply one of the following effects, but you cannot apply the same effect of Ballardrock again this turn. Okay? So, you can either negate the effect or banish a monster from the field or graveyard. This is very important because Zombie World is going to turn all of our opponent's monsters into zombies, and that means we can just shut off an opponent's effect once per turn. So, fantastic. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Kind of an underused trap girl here, if you ask me. Hers is mainly graveyard effects, so when a card or effect is activated that includes one of the following effects, As a quick effect, discard this card, and negate that activation. So if they were to reverse tutor, adding a card or cards from the graveyard to the hand deck or extra deck, you negate that. If they try to special summon a monster or monsters from the graveyard, negate it. Or if they were banishing a card or cards from the graveyard, negate it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So that's good. I think that another thing that really helps these two hand trap girls is the fact that they are both zombie tuners, which means we will be able to freely play them to the field if we want. We are also going to have Glow Up Bloom. If this card is sent to the graveyard, remember Armageddon Knight's already able to do that for us, you may banish this card in your graveyard and add a level 5 or higher zombie from the deck to your hand. Or, if Zombie World is in a field zone, you can special summon that card from the deck instead. In either case, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except zombie monsters, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So once Zombie World is active, we can literally play the Armageddon Knight to pitch the Glow Up Bloom, to banish the Glow Up Bloom, and put Ballardrock directly to the board. So it's a very quick and easy deck. A lot of these cards did come out of the structure deck, so it does qualify for being very budget. The fact that the two hand trap girls were definitely in the Dual Devastator, and in fact, those are the copies that I'm using right now. Very budget. The Gozuki cards. During the main phase, you can send one zombie monster from the deck to the graveyard, and if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish a zombie monster from your graveyard except Gozuki to special summon one zombie monster from your hand. You may only use this effect once per turn, but it is another way of pitching those zombies, like the Glow Up Bloom, or even the Mizukis, which are like a couple of cards ahead, and making sure that you can get more extender or more plays off. Jack of Bland's one of my favorite newer zombies. I say newer because Ignition Assault was a minute ago now. His effect, you can discard a zombie monster to special summon this from the hand. During the opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you may target a zombie monster in either graveyard, special summon that monster, banish it when it leaves the field, then banish this face-up card until the end phase. You may use each effect once per turn. Now, this is amazing because it doesn't allow you to play too many of him at once, which is great. We're only going to run the 2 anyway. But what it really does is he's going to protect himself by subbing out with a card that, again, Zombie World is going to change our opponent's monsters to zombies in the field and the graveyard. So we're allowed to get their cards back, make sure that they get banished when they leave the field, protect him, juggle the effects, and we could still play him off of... Where did it go? No, that was right, Glow Up Bloom. So Glow Up Bloom still has the play right there, which means Gozuki and Armageddon Knight still have the play for that. Additionally, Jack of Bland discarding a zombie monster is counting as sending it, so it can actually trigger the Glow Up Bloom right there. And as long as you have the field spell active, then you have both of your larger star monster cards already on the field together. So that's awesome. Again, Mizuki, just banish him while he's in the graveyard, target a zombie monster in your graveyard, and special summon that card. Necro World Banshee is probably one of our better cards here because on board it states Zombie World in the field spell zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can target it with card effects. So no bounces, no setting it. I'm not sure that any cards actually do that. Or removing it. Quick effect, you can banish this card from the field or graveyard. Activate a Zombie World directly from the hand or deck. So quick effect means we can mess with our opponent to do that. We could use Jack of Bland to throw the Banshee, get our field spell, play extend with either our Gozuki or our Armageddon Knight for the Glow Up Bloom, and still develop our big bad boy Ballardrock. So a lot of interplay here. Solitaire is another one of these great cards that's going to do this. So you can tribute one zombie monster, special summon a zombie tuner with 0 defense from your deck. Let's go over your zombie tuners again. 1800 defense, no. Ghost Bell, 1800 defense, no. Bloom, yes. And I think Bloom's the only other No, it lets you get your Unizombies. Okay, so you can special summon that. If this card is banished, target one of your banished Chiranuis. You're never going to use that. We literally just want to be able to tribute a zombie to special summon a zombie tuner. So you can literally play him, tribute himself, and go into your Unizombie, or you can go into that glow up bloom. So that's also very good. Unizombie, you target a face-up monster on the field, discard a card. If you do, increase that target's level by 1. Or you can target a face-up monster on the field. Monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except zombies. Also, send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase the target's level by 1. This is going to be important only because we do have a few overlay plays in the deck, and we also have the one synchro play in the deck. So modulating the levels, being able to pitch a card from the hand and the deck would be, again, allowing us to get Banshee and Glow Up Bloom simultaneously. So awesome. Called by the Grave is just standard protection here. Keep you away from a hand trap, or just using it for one of the many other ways you could do it. Foolish Burial, again, it's just another play starter. Super Poly's in here in order to fuse trap cards. Discard a card, send from either side of the field to the graveyard monsters for fusion. And then special summon that monster from the extra deck. And this is treated as a fusion summon. It's essentially a spell speed 4 because nothing can respond to this card's activation. So that's pretty awesome. And again, Zombie World, the other effect that I just keep glancing over is that neither player can tribute summon monsters except zombie monsters. Now, I think there's only 2 real decks that are going to be affected by this, but Monarchs is definitely going to see a lot more play since the ban list last month. And I believe the other one... See, I'm going to forget it. I think it's True Draco is another really good tribute-based deck. And we're going to pair this off with the next card for a nice soft lock, and that's Rivalry of the Warlords. Now, Rivalry has been reprinted a few times. Mine are the original Magician's Force, and you can tell just how long I've had these. These are a little bit beat up, a little tattered. What this says is each player must send monsters from their side of the field to the graveyard so that they control only a singular type. And then as long as this card remains on the field, that player can only summon or control one type at a time. Okay, this thing's actually got like a ton of rulings. So to break it down, if you're playing against a Monarch deck and you don't have the Zombie World, they could not tribute Mobius for Thestalos because they have an Aqua. They would have to try to summon an Aqua, even though they would be getting rid of their Aqua. It just doesn't count. Now, I do believe that they could set the Thestalos because he's Pyro. But in this deck, we're going to change everything to zombies. As soon as they have one monster on board, you hit this. They can only keep the one monster, and unless you're playing another zombie player, they can't play monsters as long as that one exists. And that's pretty good, and it's great against like all decks, and it creates a really cool soft lock, which is again why this is like great for locals. It's great for casual. And depending on what your lineup is, you might improve this to the point where you will actually take this to a higher level tournament and make it more competitive. The last card we're running is just 2 Solemn Strikes. Pretty basic, destroy special summons or monster effects. 1,500 is not a bad price to pay. So let's talk about the extra deck real quick. So Earth Golem at Ignister is a trap for all the Cyber stacks out there, whether it be Salamangrate or I think Marincest might be taking off a little bit. I don't really care about his effects. Sorry. Mud Dragon for those times where you just don't have the zombie world and your opponent's playing same attribute but different types. Obviously, you could snack that up. If I had the Dragon Necro, this would be the spot. I probably would have expanded him to more than. I do have the 2 Starving Venom Fusion Dragons. Again, we're doing this to take up Dark monsters because Dark is one of the most relevant attributes in the game. And this one's actually pretty cool. So if it's fusion summoned, you can make this card gain attack equal to an opponent's special summon monster until the end of the turn. And then once per turn, you can target a level 5 or higher monster they control until the end of the turn. This card becomes that name and replace its effects with the other card's effects. So if your opponent has Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, and I play this on my own turn, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to gain the 3,000. So this guy will be at 5,800. And then I could either try for the 2 attacks, or I can just simply banish one of my opponent's monsters. Now, if this fusion summon monster card is destroyed, I can destroy all my opponent's special summon monsters. Again, with a lot of these, since these aren't zombies like the Dragon Necro would be, these are for when you are not having the rivalry active, because the rivalry will mess you up. And the last one I use for the fusions is the World Chalice Guard Dragon Almarduke. And it just sucks up 3 links. And he's okay. He's got a 3k stat. I'm not going to bother you guys with that effect because that is significant. One of my favorite guys here is the 7-star Synchro Monster Red Eyes Zombie Necro. So tuner non-tuners gains 100 attack defense for each zombie on the field and in graveyards. Again, we are using Zombie World. Every monster on the field in graveyard is a zombie. So everybody's powering him up. Now, when another zombie monster is destroyed by battle, and it can be my opponent's monster, you can special summon 1 zombie from either graveyard to the field, and you can only resolve this effect once per turn. So it gets bigger, and it builds your army. And honestly, he's probably the best synchro you would use in this deck. We do run in our links, we have the Avenged Savior. So any 2 zombies, this card's name becomes Revenged Slayer, which is negligible. The effects are, well, we want the second effect. During damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, as a quick effect, you can send 1 zombie from the deck to the graveyard, and that opponent monster loses attack equal to the level of the sent monster times 200. So, you send a zombie. Ballardrock, he's what, 8 stars? So that's minus 16 right there. So he's able to punch anything at like 3,200. And Jacobalan is 7 stars, so that would be 14 there, and he could punch a 3k. And it's just that little surprise battle switch right there that makes him so good. We are going to run the 1 Borlo Dragon. It's just good. Nightmare Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn, because they are standard fare in most decks that use Link. We are going to use the Link Karibo, because again, we do have a couple 1 stars. And the best Link in this deck is the Vampire Sucker. So again, another Link to zombies. If you would tribute a monster or monsters for a tribute summon, you could tribute a zombie that your opponent controls, even though you don't control it. And you could use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your side in defense mode, but it becomes a zombie, which is already going to be. And if a zombie monster or monsters is special summoned from either graveyard, draw 1 card. So that is spectacular. Now, I know I didn't put up my duel center. I got another Nightmare Before Christmas character. We got Oogie Boogie here. And I just want to do like one little test draw just to kind of show you guys like what an absolute hand you're going to get with this type of deck. And I mean, you got to remember, Ghost Bell's going to stop all like the monsters coming back. So if you do run against Mirror Match, you can do that fairly easily. Jacobalan's going to be able to help you set up. All the play extenders help you set up. There's really no reason not to start the game with Zombie World on board. And maybe Ballardrock as well. So let me just finish putting my cards together. Give it a little bit of a shuffle. And I just want to remind you one more time this video, like, seriously, these cards are just, I got this stack of cards just sitting in my bookcase, just full of foils. So we need to get some comments so we can choose some winners every week, so I can make that stack either smaller or outright disappear. So let's go ahead. Let's see what this deck gives us this time. So our opening hand is going to be Ballardrock right off the rip, Jack of Balan, Unizombie, Called, Zombie World. Kind of standard. Again, and if you're going first, this is actually very good because you don't have to worry about the first hand trap, and most people only end up with like a single hand trap at the beginning. But what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to do play our Zombie World, play our Unizombie. We're able to target him so we could send one from the deck. So what we'll do is we will send the Bloom. Bloom goes to discard pile and removes itself. That's going to put Ballardrock on the field from the deck. So now we've got that Ballardrock. We're going to have that Called set in the back row. And then we're going to be able to send our other Ballardrock to the discard pile in order to get our Jack of Balan out. So we're probably going to end up having him in defense mode. But at the beginning of the turn, sorry, that was off screen. At the beginning of our own turn here, just a simple shuffle, we're going to be able to mess with our opponents. We're going to be able to say no to something because everything's a zombie. And we're actually going to get the other Ballardrock back. Now, if you wanted to extend this just a little bit, you could probably go into the Vampire Sucker. I just don't like it on the first turn. I like it better when I'm going second. So that's literally like turn one, we got Zombie World. Maybe we'll just do one more. I don't like doing too many test hands because it just makes videos like 5 minutes longer for no reason. So let's see what happens. So, okay. Got our Gozuki, got our Foolish Burial, we got our Ghost Bell, we got our Banshee, and we got our Solitaire. So again, if we're going first, I'm probably going to play the Solitaire. Because Solitaire's out, I can tribute. We'll go ahead and grab our 0 defense Zombie Tuner. And of course, I love my boy Unizombie. And then we'll use his effect. We'll send the one from the deck. No, we'll send from hand first, sorry. Because we want the Necro World Banshee's effect to play our Zombie World. Should bring that in just a little bit. And then we'll send our other one from the deck. And we'll send our Glow Up Bloom this time. So when it goes there, we can go ahead and banish it. We're going to be able to put Ballardrock up again. First turn, we get a 5-star Unizombie for no reason. And I think that's all you can do right here. We could play the Foolish Burial if you really wanted to. So you could do that. You could play like your Foolish Burial. Send your Mizuki to the discard pile. You could banish the Mizuki. Bring back, it doesn't matter. It could be the Banshee. Unless she needed to be banished. No, you'd have to banish her. So you would have brought back the Solitaire. And then you could link real quick. And because our other Ballardrock is still in the deck, we could actually create our Avendred Savior real quick. And what Avendred Savior is going to do for us, again, he's got that nice lowering stat effect. We still have Ballardrock and 2 Jack of Balans in the deck. Ballardrock being the stronger ditch. We could always, when our opponent goes to, clear him off the board, maybe they think we're only running 1 Ballardrock because we're playing more conservative. We could send this. If we do, beginning of our next turn, standby phase, you now have 2 Ballardrocks and Avendred. And then you still got your Gozuki, you still got your Ghost Bell. And drawing one more card, I got an Ash Blossom. So, very good situation. We're able to say no to things. We're able to remove things. I just swatted the camera. That was dumb. I hope this was another good spooky deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next time, all right? Peace.